everyone, Caren Glasser here, and welcome to the show. I welcome guests from all across the globe who entertain us, wow us, and excite us. And today is no exception. My guest is Rick Gerber, the Magic Guy. Whether you're here live or on replay, doesn't matter. Make sure you say hi in the comments. So today, let me tell you a little bit about our guest. Rick has been performing magic worldwide for Budweiser for over 30 years and is their second longest running entertainment marketing promotion in the company's history. If you're wondering what number one is, it's the Clydesdales. He has performed in over 40,000 bars and clubs around the world. He was the youngest performer at the Magic Castle at 10 years old, imagine that, and the youngest headline performer for Princess Cruises at 18 years old. Rick is sought after trade show, sales meeting, and VIP hospitality performer for many Fortune 100 companies and has performed to sold out audiences in all 50 states and over 35 countries. He's opened for such notables as Frank Sinatra and Jay Leno. He's performed for President Reagan, King Juan Carlos of Spain, Sir Elton John, and other megastars in the entertainment world. His new interactive virtual magic show, Happy Hour, No Mask Required, is in high demand for both companies and private shows. And so without further ado, I welcome Rick to the show.
Hey, Caren, how are you?
I am well. I feel like I should have one of those clapping machines or something, you know.
A little applause sign up here in the corner.
I'm really excited that you're here. We've been talking about this for quite a while. And I just, you know, if you're just tuning in, everyone, we are talking to Rick Gerber, the Magic Guy, because we have magic to do for all of you today. So let's just start out with my very first question. How did you get started in magic? Clearly, you did this early on.
I did. You know, my parents had a liquor store, and it's like a convenience store, liquor store, and back in those days they had a little like a joke section, and in the joke section, the guy that they bought those from also sold magic tricks. So they had like this little catalog, and every time they put an order in, they just kind of go to the magic section of the catalog and pick out something. And so every 2 or 3 weeks, they'd just bring me home another magic trick. So I've been doing it since I was, as long as I can remember. I can't remember ever not doing magic.
Well, I mean, the fact that you started doing this when you were 10 at the Magic Castle. Let's talk about the Magic Castle. What was it like to be at the Magic Castle as a young boy and then as you got a little bit older?
You know what? It was my home away from home. You know, since I was very young, I had a mentor, a gentleman by the name of Jack Kelso, and Jack was one of the founding members of the Magic Castle, and he started bringing me in there on Sunday brunches because that was the only days that minors were allowed in. If you're under 21, you couldn't go to the Magic Castle. So he started bringing me in, and eventually he kind of got the door open for me to start doing the Sunday brunch shows there. And it was like a master's class every week. So, I mean, the greatest magicians in the world performed at the Magic Castle. And
including you.
Yeah, well, back then, I was a kid. And but after every show, I mean, these guys would, they'd pull you aside and they'd say, here's a better way to do it, or here's another way to do it, or here's another thing, another effect you can tie in with that one. So I've been learning from the best for.
You learned from the masters. That's amazing. That's amazing. We've known each other for a lot of years, and we reconnected actually during this whole crazy time that we're in right now. And, so life's changed, right? Life has changed and business has changed since March. How has it changed? And that magic word pivot, because we're hearing it all over the world, all over online. And you pivoted. So tell us how life has changed and how you pivoted.
Well, all live entertainers, singers, magicians, you name it, anyone that was performing live, our life overnight just came to a standstill.
Right.
And, and I think at first there was kind of this, it'll pass, and in a few months things will get back to normal. And so I kind of waited it out for, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And I realized, okay, this is not going to get back to normal anytime soon.
Not anytime.
And, I just kind of started thinking, how can we make this work? And, my entire life working, you mentioned Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser. I've done a lot of work for them, but I've done a lot of work with many other companies as well. And And with that said, I always kind of created something a little different for everyone. So, in fact, even with Anheuser-Busch, I think the reason why I was around for so long, they used to call me the Anheuser-Busch chameleon, because I was constantly just changing and adapting. You know, ad campaigns would change, brands would change, things are always changing. And if you didn't adapt and look forward, you were gone.
Right.
And so I've always kind of been that kind of a person where I'm always adapting and changing. But this one was a big change, obviously, for everybody, for the world. Yeah. And fortunately for me, many years ago, I used to be head of the film department for PBS, for news and public affairs. I have a pretty extensive television production background. And I started thinking about these virtual shows. And I was scared to death. I mean, I've never done anything like this before. And an old expression came to mind for me at one point, and that was, success is just on the other side of fear.
Yes, I agree.
And and I thought, okay, I've just got to jump through this hoop and see what happens. It's not going to kill me. Let's try it. And so for the next month, I put together my virtual show and just kept practicing and rehearsing and trying different things to see what would work on camera and how this whole medium was going to work. And fortunately, knock on wood, it's worked out okay. I've got a lot of different companies reaching out to me and doing internal sales meetings and doing customer relation shows, and we're finding all kinds of ways that never in a million years I ever think
the pivot
magic this way. Yeah, it's a total pivot.
Total pivot.
Yeah, and the great part about it is, when things do get back to normal, now I have two things I can be doing. I can continue doing these virtual shows, which I think will become the new norm for many, many years, and still doing live appearances. So it's actually, by facing that fear and jumping in there, it's actually opened up, a bigger.
I don't know about you, but I know that I still get nervous before each show. It doesn't matter how many years I've been doing this. I'm a singer. I used to get on stage and I would get nervous. I get the butterflies. It made for a better performance. And I pushed through the fear every single time, because what other choice do you have? You either run away scared or you push through the fear. So I really love what you're talking about. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Rick Gerber, the magic guy, and we're going to give you an opportunity to actually get engaged with your virtual magic shows. We're going to be putting up a link later on so that they can do this with you, because I know you're getting rave reviews. I saw some of the actual testimonials. I mean, they love you. I can see why.
You're stalking me, Caren.
Pardon me?
Are you stalking me?
I am stalking you. What can I say? I'm stalking you. Deal with it. So, I always ask my guests, why do you do what you do? I know that you're doing it. I know you've done it for a long time, but why do you do this? Why do you continue to do this?
I just love it. I think if you ask any live performer, live entertainer, the instant feedback that you get from an audience, the laughter, the applause, I can't say I've ever had boos, so I fortunately I haven't to worry about that, but there's just something about that kind of energy that live entertainment creates, especially magic, because magic is, it just takes people to a place where you forget everything around you. It takes you to a place where things are just happy and fun. No matter what is going on in your life, you can kind of just step away from that for a moment and just enjoy the magic.
I need that right now.
Yeah, and being able to bring that to people and get that kind of a reaction, you never get tired of that. How can you get tired of that?
You can't. And I think we need that right now in the world that we're living in. And guys, if you have any questions for Rick after he does his tricks, because we're going to be turning it over to him in just a few minutes, make sure you put it in the comments. I know we have viewers on. I can see that we have viewers on. Don't be shy. If you have a question about magic magic, we'll leave it at that, magic. We don't want to get personal. But if you have a question about magic, put it in the comments, and I can put it right up on the screen. So I feel like I should do like a drum roll or something. But without further ado, I would like to introduce to the Caren Glasser live stage, Rick Gerber, the magic guy.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm just going to do a couple things for you. I thought this would be fun. It's a classic in magic. Normally, when you do this, you get to hand out the rope and people can check it, make sure it doesn't, shrink or stretch, or no trap doors, no hidden compartments. You can check, make sure it's a piece of rope. But I'm going to do for you the world's famous or the world's fastest cut and restored rope trick. All right. And the way it works is simply like this. I'm going to put one end of the rope right here between my thumb and my finger, and the other end goes between the thumb and the finger. And I'm going to take the exact middle, the bottom, bring that up to the top. And once I do that, I've got a scissors right over here. I'm just going to give this a snip, just like that. So now instead of having one long piece of rope, two shorter pieces of rope, even on the top, even on the, something must have slipped there. You know what? Let me just trim up that one long piece there. There we go. All right. So now we've got two equal lengths of rope, even on the top, and they're nice. And in order to do the world's fastest cut and restored rope trick, the tops and bottoms have to be even. So let me just give that a little snip right. There we go. Okay. Now we got it. Now we got two equal lengths of rope, even on this is just going to keep happening, isn't it? This is not good. I'm sorry you have to see this. Unfortunately, when that happens, there's really only one thing you can do. Unfortunately, you have to start over. I've got here this one long piece of rope. Yeah, in fact, have you ever noticed if you take a piece of rope and you remove the ends from the rope, then you have a piece of rope that has no beginning and no end? Have you ever noticed? I'm just messing with you. I'm going to put the end back on. All right, so here we go. One long piece of rope. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take the rope and get the bottoms even and get the loop on the top. We'll get these nice and even down here. I think we got it. All right. Take these scissors, give this one more little snip. So we got a snip here. Look at that. Even on the bottom, even on the bottom, even on the top, even on the top, even on the bottom, two equal lengths of rope. Even, I'm sorry, when that happens, you have to start over again. I've got here this one long piece of rope. Yeah, in fact, I'll do it this way. I'll put one end here, and instead of going halfway down, I'm going to go about 2/3 down, and that way we get two loops. We get a loop on the top and a loop on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and snip this a couple of times. We'll snip it up here on the top, snip it on the bottom. So now instead of having just one or two, we've got one. One more makes two. This one here makes three equal lengths of rope. Nice and even on the top, nice and even on the well, close enough. One was just a little, could you tell one was shorter than, maybe it's just me. I mean, that one's okay. And then there's this one, but now there's that long piece of rope. So now there's a long, a medium, and a short piece of rope. So if you take these ropes, they're all three different lengths, you bring the bottoms up to the top. There's the long, there's the medium, right over here in the center, there's the short, and you just take the ropes, you divide them up into threes, you put three ends here and three there, and the long middle goes to the short middle, and it kind of creates an illusion as if you're back to three equal lengths of rope again. But we're going to do the world's fastest cut and restored rope trick. So here's what we can do. I'm going to take these ropes, I'm going to tie them all together into one long piece of rope. I'm going to tie these two into a knot over here just like that. And once you tie those into a knot, we're going to take this over here, tie these into a knot. So you've got three lengths of rope all tied together into one long piece of rope. It's just those knots, you know. So actually, if you take our scissors over here and you trim these up just a little bit, make this one a little smaller. There we go. Look at that. Almost becomes invisible. It's almost like they're not even there. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, but here's the thing. So you've got these two knots. If you could get rid of the knots, that would be amazing. If you could get rid of the knots, this would be the world's longest version of the world's fastest cut and restored rope trick. Here's how it works. You go ahead and you take this one off the bottom over here, this one off the top of the rope over there. It takes you back to one long piece of rope. That is the world's famous cut and restored rope trick for you. All right? Yeah, there you go. So, and I promised I would do one card trick. Actually, it's kind of a magician's rule. It's like a union thing. We have to do at least one card trick in every performance. So, but actually, hey, Karen, right? Are you ready to pick a card? Can you help me pick a card?
I can help you pick a card.
All right. Okay. Sneak back on over here. I'm going to have you pick a card over here. See,
I'm going to put myself in the corner.
Okay. All right. That's good. And I've got a pack of cards. In fact, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to slide my little table out here a little bit so everybody can see this. All right. There we go. Perfect. All right. Here's what I'm going to do, Karen. I've got a pack of cards. And to keep this as fair as we can, I'm going to go ahead and just fan those out. I'm going to just kind of run my finger across, and anytime you want, you say stop, and that will be the card we're going to use. You ready? All right, here we go.
Stop.
Right there. Okay, I'm going to go straight down.
Okay.
We'll slide that card out. Now, here's the thing, Caren. Sometimes people think I trick you into something. So we can either use this card, or I can go back, or I can go forward. You tell me. You want to go? You can go back.
That one works for me. That one works.
All right. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take that card out right there. All right. And your card is the 6 of spades. Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. And here's what we're going to do. Caren, I tell you what, we're going to mark this card so we know we only have one card in the universe that looks like this card. Okay. So what should I put on here? I'll let you decide. That way we know it's yours.
Caren with a C.
Caren with a C. C-A-R-E-N.
Yep.
Right. Want me to put here? I'll put a little smiley face over here. All right. Put a little. Okay. All right. Close enough. All right. Got it.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want me to put on there?
No, it looks awesome.
All right. Just checking. I want to keep this as fair as we possibly can. All right. Never trust a magician that says that. So Caren, your card, Caren with a C, goes into the deck just like this with one finger. One finger. All right. I'm going to straighten them up with one finger. Okay. And then I'm going to do absolutely nothing. I don't cut the cards. I don't shuffle the cards. I don't move the cards. I do nothing. And your card, Caren, is going to come to the top of the deck. Top card, your card. I'm going to start doing nothing now. Almost done doing nothing. Oh, I'm done. Your card's now on top. And again, I'm going to be as fair as I can. I'm going to use 2 fingers, and you'll see that the top card is your card with Caren with your little smiley face on it. Yeah. In fact, I'll do it this way. I'm going to help you follow the card. I'm going to take your card. I'm going to bend the card. All right. So I got your name on there, but most importantly, Caren, we've got this giant bend in the card. Because it's bent, you can actually see the card physically working its way to the top of the deck. All right. I'm going to be as fair and as slow as I can. I'm not going too quickly.
Like a snail.
That goes right there. Watch. I do nothing. Here we go. Go. I do nothing. It's moving. It's moving. It's almost there. It's almost there. There's one bent card on top. Caren, it's your card. It's got your name, Caren, written across the face.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But in fact, no. So here's the thing. I'm going to straighten out the card. All right. I'm going to straighten it out so it's nice and flat. So your card goes right here on the top. Again, this is as fair as I can be on the top of the deck. All right. Okay. I'm going to riff about halfway down. I'm going to give the cards a little cut so it goes in the deck, in the center. I'm only going to use 2 fingers. That way I can't cheat. People believe that. All right. And here's the thing. There's a lot of ways I could find your card. I could find your card behind my back. But here's the thing. I'm not going to try to find your card inside the deck because your card's not inside of the deck. I'm just going to set these down, get them out of the way. My hands are empty, and I haven't come anywhere near my inside coat pocket. Nowhere near. Empty hand inside of my pocket. That's where you find, believe it or not. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I got nervous. I thought it's stuck in my pocket. Come on. There we go. My wallet. My wallet. And inside of my wallet, that's where you find a zippered compartment. And inside of a sealed zippered compartment, inside of my wallet, inside of a pocket that I never even came close to, that is where you will find a sealed envelope. And inside of a sealed envelope, inside of my pocket, inside of a wallet that I never came close to, there's one card. One card. And the card happens to be a 6 of spades with your name, Caren, written right across the face of the card.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. I'm going to come back on full screen. That is an amazing trick. I mean, an amazing trick. I don't know how you do that. My husband is a huge follower of magic. My kids are, I never get it other than I don't get it. You just shocked me. And I want to thank you for that. Wow. Wow. And I'm getting some comments. Is that it? That all you're going to do? Maybe. Oh, wait, we got a comment here. What is the most memorable audience you have performed before? This is from Alan Sedley.
Oh my goodness. I have been very fortunate to have performed with some amazing people. And years ago, you had mentioned Frank Sinatra, Jay Leno. I actually did a show back in, is at Duke University many years ago. And Buddy Hackett, now this is dating myself on this one, but Buddy Hackett, I guess he went to Duke or his kids went to Duke. Somehow he was very heavily associated with Duke University. And he put a show together, and Anheuser-Busch was sponsoring it. And he had gotten Jay Leno and Frank Sinatra, and Anheuser-Busch asked, since we were sponsoring the event, if I could do a little something. So I actually got to go up and entertain everyone first.
Oh my.
So, and this was, back then, Jay Leno, no one even heard of Jay Leno. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, but it was, that was fun. I've done shows with Tommy Lasorda. I've entertained the King of Spain back at the Olympics in Barcelona. I've been very, Ray Charles, which is a whole nother story about how you do magic for somebody who's blind, but
yeah, I was just going to say that's interesting. That's interesting.
But it was great, and he loved it, and that was fun. Ed McMahon, Norm Crosby, Sir Elton John.
Amazing. Truly amazing. And to be first of all, you are amazing. You're an amazing magician, and so to say that you're amongst those greats, you are one of the greats. So I really. You're humble about that, but you are very good at what you do. And I was just hoping maybe you would throw in one more trick.
Sure, I can do that for you. So actually, this one's kind of fun. I'm gonna put you back in solo, or should I put myself in the corner? Sure. All right. So people are always. This is kind of a fun story. People are always saying, what got you started in magic? And I always tell a story about when I was at this carnival. There was a guy there playing a game with these cards. And it was a simple game. I'm walking by, and this guy says to me, he says, "Hey, son, how'd you like to win $1?" Well, I stopped right there because I'm thinking two things. I'm thinking, first of all, how am I your son? And second of all, who doesn't want to win $1? So I stopped. I said, "Okay, I'll play." He said, "Look, kid, here's how this works. I'm going to mix this ace up with these 3 blank cards. You find the ace, you win $1." Made sense to me. So he went ahead and he took the ace, put it in the pine. In fact, he said, "You know what, son? A little young. I'm going to make this even easier. I'm going to take one of the blank cards. I'm going to set it aside. And then you don't have to follow all the cards. You just have to follow the 2 blank cards in the ace." Well, that made sense to me. When he went ahead and he put the ace right between the 2 blank cards, just like that, went ahead and closed them up, and he went to mix the cards. He mixed the cards once, mixed the cards twice, mixed the cards 3 times. He said, "All right, son, where's the ace?" I said, "Well, if you mix them 3 times, puts it back in the center." He said, "Oh, son, I'm sorry. That's the blank card." You see, you got to pay attention when you play this game. I've got over here this 1 blank card here. Got another blank card here. Got this other one here. You're supposed to be following the ace. I said, "Wait a second. This game is rigged." He said, "No, it's not rigged. I'll play again. And by the way, you owe me $1. Like, what? He goes, yeah, here. But I just put the ace on the top. I'm going to take a blank card off the bottom. I'm going to set it aside. And then you take one of the blank cards off the bottom. I'm going to put it on the top of the sandwich, ace in the middle." I said, wait. You're doing something sneaky. He said, "Kid, look. I got 3 cards, ace in the middle. All you got to do, follow the ace." It's like, all right. So he went ahead, he mixed the cards again. He mixed the cards once, mixed the cards twice, mixed the cards 3 times. Said, "All right, son, where's the ace?" I said, "It's still right there in the center." He said, "No, son." He said, "I'm sorry. That's the blank card." He said, "This one here, that's the one you got to keep an eye on. You see, I've got over here these 3 blank cards. You're supposed to be following the ace." Said, "Wait a minute, this game is rigged." He said, "No, the game's not rigged. I'll play it one more time. And this time I practically guarantee you're going to win." I said, you guarantee I'm going to win? He said, that's right. I practically guarantee you're going to win. By the way, right now you owe me $2. Like, what? He said, yeah, we'll play double or nothing. You're going to win this one. So he said, look, I'm going to keep this as fair as I can. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the ace in the pile. I'm going to put a blank card aside. I'm going to mix them one last time. I'm going to mix the cards once. I'm going to mix the cards twice. I'm going to mix the cards 3 times. I'm going to mix them one more time just for good luck. So, all right, son, where's the ace? I said, all right, I'm wising up. It's right there. He said, look, son, I practically guaranteed you're going to win. You could have picked any one of the aces. You found the only blank card in the
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's why I decided to become a magician. I said to the guy, I said, you know what? When I grow up, I'm going to be a magician. He said, you know what, kid? The first problem is you can't grow up.
Alan, it says, magicians seem to have extraordinary hand and finger dexterity. Is this something you can train yourself to achieve, or do you believe it's a gift that you're born with? Great question.
You know what? And I get that question fairly frequently. And what I do is, my analogy is a pianist. All right. There's different levels of everything. All right. Pretty much anybody could learn to play something on the piano. But it doesn't mean you're going to become a concert pianist.
True.
And magic is the same way. There are some things that are very simple, that don't take a lot of skill, and that you can, easily, master pretty quickly.
Right.
And then there are other things that, if you want to take it seriously and you're willing to put in the time and practice, I mean, you can spend months or years practicing something before it's even performed. So, so it just depends on how serious you want to be and what level you want to be. I mentioned earlier, one of my first magic teachers, my mentor, Jack Kelso. Jack was a plumber, and his hands were so big and calloused. I mean, he couldn't even make a fist. Wow. And the thing he used to say to me all the time, he'd say, Rick, never confuse dexterity with sleight of hand. And I never understood that until later on. And I realized there's so much more. There's misdirection, there's performance, there's so many other things other than just dexterity. So there's a lot of different ways to to approach magic. Well,
we're going to give people a way to actually join your virtual magic parties. No mask is involved. And I'm putting it up here on the screen. It's called Virtually Amazing Magic Shows, no masks required. And there's going to be a link that just popped up in the comments right now. All they have to do is click the link, and they can sign up for your shows. Tell us a little bit about what happens on these shows.
So these shows, and these shows are not, they're not, all the shows I do are private shows. I don't do like Facebook Live shows and invite people in. So I do, there's all kinds of different ones. I did one today for a Fortune 100, actually a Fortune 50 company. They had 800 people. We did a magic show for their entire sales team across the country and their families. They wanted to do something just to kind of keep everybody connected and have some fun. So I do a lot of those types of corporate shows. I do team building shows. But one of the fun things I've been doing are the happy hour shows. And these sometimes are groups of, 8, 10, 15 people that we get together virtually. And I just do a really fun, like a 40-minute magic show for everyone. And people are doing that for happy hours. They're doing them for, birthdays, different family celebrations. I've got one coming up, a family reunion. They wanted to do something to get everybody together. So
they can hire you.
Navigating this whole virtual performing thing and figuring out lots of different ways to utilize it during these times.
So they can literally hire you to come do a virtual party, a virtual happy hour, any one of those things. How fun is that? How fun is that? Yeah. I'm always asked, how do we stay in touch with your guests? And this is, the same thing. So I want to make sure that people can find you on the web. They go to rick-gerber.com.
Yeah. And you got to make sure to put that little hyphen, the little dash between Gerber. Yeah.
You also have a YouTube channel. So all they have to do is put into the search on YouTube, Rick-the Magic Guy, and your channel will show up. I already went and checked that out. It will show up. And finally, you're on LinkedIn, and I normally don't put a LinkedIn link, but you know, you do corporate shows and you do all these kind of shows. And if as this show gets shared out all over the place, I am sure there are going to be people that are saying, oh, this would be great as a team building, as we're all in this weird environment that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts you'd like to share with our audience before we say goodbye?
You know what? Just, you know, we touched on a little earlier about, you know, it's just a crazy world out there right now. And, you know, if you can just visualize what your future can be, once you have that in mind, it's amazing how everything just falls together, and, you know, thoughts become things, and, you know, and you just go there. So don't let fear stop you. It's just a shadow that you can just pass through. And once you're on the other side, it's a pretty nice world out there. So,
well, I want to thank you for sharing your busy time with us today. And I want to thank our audience, whether you're here live or on replay, for spending time with us, because you have a choice as to how you spend your time, and you chose to spend it with us today. So go out and give somebody an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next episode of Caren Glasser Live. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, Caren.